Hello my crafty friends, Corrine here from Corrine Crafts. I hope you are well. Now have I got a lovely project for you. I thought I'd keep it quite clean and simple and quite quick and easy to make. And here is my beautiful card. It's all about the white and the craft again and using what you've got in your stash. I'll explain to you how I've used flower centres or stamens to make the flowers, a little bit of ribbon, some Nuvo drops, and I hope you can see, look at that, a gorgeous embossing folder. Now it's a 3D embossing folder, but I've not actually embossed it as 3D. I just wanted it to be more of a hint of emboss rather than a full emboss. So there you go, that's the card. I'm going to show you now how I made it. I definitely get the feeling that when I do some of my clean and simple cards, they are the most popular ones. So I thought I would do another card that's fairly clean and simple. So I'm starting off with a card base. It was a 6 3/4 inch square card, so that was the length, so it was a little bit wider. That would be suitable for a 7-inch envelope. So I've just cut a bit off and made it 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. Now you've seen me do this size before, and the reason I've done that is so that my topper, which is 4 1/2 inches across by 6 inches wide, will fit perfectly. I just really like this size card. It's funny, isn't it, how you go through phases of liking certain things, and this is what I like. So there we go. So those are my measurements: 4 1/2 by 6 for the topper and 5 1/4 by 6 3/4. So obviously it's in inches for the base, and it's all just multi-purpose card. Now on here I put some craft. Now craft and white cards always look stunning, but I thought I'd bring in a little bit of sort of a duty ribbon. Isn't that lovely? Just think it goes really, really well with that. So yes, so that's what I'm going to use. So let's do the first bit. I'm thinking which would be the best way to do this. So what I've also got is, oh, there you go. So you can see what this was a Hobbycraft. Gosh, I must have had this years. It was a Hobbycraft jute ribbon. I don't know how long I've had this. You know what I'm about. It's all about digging into your stash. Now these are some Lisa Horton embossing folders, and again this is one that I've probably had for a good few years. I think I got these from a set when she was on KRAFT. So there you go, that's how long ago it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in. Now it is, as you know, it's 6 inches, so this is a 6-inch embossing folder. If I was to put it in, I'd have the borders around the edge. Don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up and I'm going to pop this in, and I'm going to pop it in just like that, just making sure it's straight, and bring down the lid so you can see. There we go. I'm just trying to make it so that it ends between some bricks. There we go. So I've got this. So I've got part brick there, and then I've got this white bit sticking out of the end. Now it says they're 3D embossing folders, so I'm going to put it through with a very simple plate combination. I'm going to put through a cutting plate and a plastic shim. Now you could sometimes put a magnetic shim on, but I think this will be enough. So I'm going to pop that through, and then we'll have a look at what I've got. And look at what I've got. Can you see that brickwork? Now, as I said, it's a 3D embossing folder, but I've only sort of done it 2D embossed, and that's quite deliberate. You got that's the deboss, that's the emboss. I didn't want it over embossed. I just wanted a bit of detail on there. So I love that. By taking off the one plate, it's just taken down that pressure a little bit. So I think I'll put that jute on next. Where have I put that down? Oh, it's over here. And I'm going to pop that. So all I've done is I've just trimmed into there with mermaid tails, and I'm going to put that like about there, I think, and I'm going to wrap that round. Now don't worry about this, it will sort of flatten out. So what I'm going to do then, take that over. I'll get a little bit of red liner. You can put your red liner underneath or over the top. It's entirely up to you. Let's put a little bit underneath. And it can go anywhere you like. It really isn't too precious at all. So that's a good width of tape. There we go. Burnish it down. You know, we always burnish it down to get a good finish. So let's have a look. Because I've trimmed it, I'm going to just try and get it in the right place. Oops, that went funny, didn't it? Put that nice and straight so that when we bend it over, it's nice and straight. And then I'm just going to put it onto there, burnish that down, and then I'm going just to trim off the excess. Now you can put another piece of tape over the top if you want. Now look at that, it's curling up, but don't worry, we can sort that in a minute. So let's have a go at getting this onto our card base. So where did I put my card base? I think I put it over here. Yes, I did. And I've got that. So I've got another piece of white card. It is, gosh, 3/16 of an inch bigger. So yeah, it's not quite 1/4 of an inch, just under. And we're going to pop this one on first. This is going to go onto the craft. So remember, you could take the middle out of your craft card. I don't tend to, because craft card is relatively cheap and cheerful to come to buy. But I might change my mind in another year when I'm still funding the channel myself. Who knows? But for now, I've left the centre of my craft card. Oh dear, what's wrong with my tape today? It's not, the back's not peeling off very well. There we go, that's better. And I want my PVA glue, which is falling over. Oh, I haven't done it up. I'm always trying to make sure I always do up my glue when I finish, but I didn't on that one. Let's put a little bit of PVA down there, because the difference between the two card paper sizes is very slim. And then we can put that on. See, look at that, it's all wonky at the moment. So then I can just lift it up, pop it onto there. When I'm happy that it's straight, I can then press it down. Press it down like that. There we go. And then the next one is this on here. Now, I might just put another little... Do I want another bit of... I don't. I think I want that straight. Yeah, I'm going to put that on straight and hope that it works over there. I think I might put a little bit of red liner over the top of that ribbon just to help it stick down. Don't worry about this side, it'll be fine in a minute. I could have got my craft iron onto that, couldn't I suppose, and then it would have laid a bit flatter, but I didn't. But we'll sort it before we're finished. I can either put some tape underneath it, I might do that in a minute, or I can I'm going to put some flowers on. Right, so with this, as you've probably noticed, of the brickwork, the white bit is at the you know, flat bit that's got no decoration on is at the top. I don't know why, I just thought, yeah, it would look nice just to have a little bit of you know, white without, you know, decoration. I could have made that a little bit bigger, but I didn't. I'm just going to put a little bit of PVA over there because I can feel it trying to grab, and I don't want it to grab yet till I've lined it up. There we go. Let's put that one over there. You see, all wibbles and wobbles to begin with. That's not right because that's too big at the bottom. There we go. There we are, that's better. Now I think I might just get a thinner red liner tape and just put a little bit down the centre. That bit has got a bit worn. So let's just find a little bit down the centre. I'm going to put some decoration over this ribbon. That will also help to hold it down, but just to be on the safe side. Where is it trying to bend? It's trying to bend there. So let's just put this. That jumped in my hand. Oh, if I pull it tight, it just about does. That was almost too far down. So let's just pull that down tight, nice and straight. I'm just going to pull it down like that so I'm not making it wonky. Oh, that looks much better, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm glad I did that in the end. Much better. Much, much better. Okay, so nice card base so far. Yes, I have done it the right way. I was doubting myself for a minute then. So I've got card base, craft, white raised up, and then white with this brickwork on. Looking lovely. So you know how I like us to use things that we've already got. I've gone into my dies and I found these. And these are some centres from one of my signature collections. So when I made some flowers, I put centres with them. And I'm actually going to use them for the flowers today. And then this one, you can see it's got my signature collection logo on. I love this one. It was just a little doodle I drew that they were able to turn into a die for me, which was really exciting. So I'm going to put that onto there. and run that through. And then, now, I like to use the same size. So I'm going to do the smaller one. And I'm going to put that onto there. Let's get a piece of tape. And I'm going to cut 3 of those. So these are going to go through my mini. Put those on like that. I often work in 3s. So I'm going to have 3 flowers with 3 layers on. And probably 3 lots of the foliage as well. We'll see. We'll see. Right, so let's open that out. And there's my flower. Very easy to achieve. And that is going to be the base of my flower. And then this one is my foliage. Pop that out. It's very fine, and that's why I like it. And that's going to be just there. So we've got that. So what I want to do with the foliage first is I'm going to get, just need a scrap of card. Oh, it shows up on there. Right. So it's just a bit out of the bin. And I've got my white Nuvo drops. And I'm just going to get that, and I'm just going to hold that down, and I'm just going to do tiny, little drops on each of those ends, just for a point of difference, just because I can. Just like that. Now you might want to leave them just all craft, but you could change this to whatever colour you wanted, couldn't you? But I just like doing that, or you could just colour them if you wanted to. So I'm going to do them like that, and I'm just going to leave that to dry, and that won't take very many minutes. And I want 3 of these, as I mentioned. So I've got 3 of those now. And then I'm just going to grab a ball tool. I'm going to turn these over. And I'm going to go, I'll start with that end, I think. Is there something on this? Right, just shape. I'm not going to do complicated shaping. And then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to use a smaller ball tool just to shape it up. And I'm actually going to sort of exaggerate the shaping for a minute. I didn't need that one. And then I'm going to put a little bit of glue in the centre of one and the centre of the other. And you see, it is such a small amount of glue. And then we're going to pop one in. And I'm just going to try and stagger them. And it's a bit harder to stagger them once they're shaped, but they're not going to shape in the right way if I don't. I've just done that the wrong way around, haven't I? But never mind. And then put that one on as well. And then I get my ball tool and I press it down in the middle, and that makes the glue grab. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more Nuvo drops, and this is colour Golden Sunset. It's glitter drops. Wait a minute. I've just done that a bit wonky. And then I'm going to pop that. Now, a nice big blob of that in there. You could do a gem or anything in there. Now, the great thing about Nuvo drops is they self-level. So you can just take that, and then you can just give it, lift it up, and just give it a little bit of a tap, and it self-levels. Really easy. So I've got that one. I've got one with the bigger ones and another one. And then because this is now dry, I can just sort of froth that. See, that's nice and dry. I actually only did that earlier this afternoon, so it's not taken too long. Just give them a little bit of ruffle. Look at that. If I give that a tap, it levels itself back out. That was clumsy of me, wasn't it? Putting my finger in it. And then I can just give that a ruffle too. Now, you can put more than 3 layers on, because once you ruffle it, you might see some gaps. It's entirely up to you. But there we go. And then now, when I was sort of thinking about this, I've got myself a sentiment, hunky-dory typeface. So I did the 3 of those in white, in craft with the white on, but I also did 3 in the white with the Nuvo drops on. And I don't yet know which way I'm going to go. So let's have a look. So let's move that out of the way. And I think we want some 3D glue. So we've got 3D glue. And we're going to pop 3 on. Oh, I should have not put the Nuvo drops on this, should I? Should have left it to do it once it was on the card. I can't put the Nuvo drops on the foliage once it's on the card, because it comes off the edge sometimes. I'm determined to ruin this one. Right, let's have a look. Do I want to go? think I will. I think I'll do it sort of like that. Let's go. 1. Now, when I do this, it's right, first time I've using my Nuvo glue gel. When I do this, I can lift it up to put the foliage in a minute. But if I put this on first, it gives me a better idea of where I want things to be. So I put that one on first. And I'm going to put that one down there. And then the one I'm determined to ruin is going to go up there. And then, right, do I want craft or white? Craft. Or do I want a mix? I might mix it up. Oh, that wasn't in my plan. So let's put a bit of craft. The great thing is I can change it because it's 3D glue gel. Put that one on. Oh. I've got a runny nose tonight. I've just been taking the dog for a walk. Sorry, that's probably too much information. Coming out in from the cold. Isn't it gone cold? This time last week I was in France and it was 31 degrees. It's not like that in England now. Oh, I am noticing it. I am noticing it. Let's put that in a little bit more. Can you see how, because it's 3D glue gel, we can just keep adjusting. Do I want a third one? Now, if I put a third one on, it might not look balanced. Oops. Because it's going to look odd, isn't it? Like two craft and a white one. So I don't know what now to do now. Completely changed my thought processes on this one. No, don't like that. So it's going to be just 2 of them and those. Now, sentiment could go up here, but I think if I put the sentiment down here, because I was thinking about using it near the flowers, but I think if I put it down here, it sort of gives me balance, doesn't it? So I was using up little bits of foam tape that I had, because you know sometimes I use my glue gel, but tonight I've used foam tape just to show you can vary it. And then I'm actually going to, in case it doesn't go on straight, put a little bit of wet glue on. So the foam tape's going to give me the height, and the glue just gives me time to move it around. Because it's a brickwork, it's going to be very easy to be straight, but it's going to be very easy to be not straight, if that makes sense. There we go. Oh, yes. Right, so then the last thing I want to do is I just thought I'd do a couple of Nuvo drops. I could just do those little 3 ones, couldn't I? 2, 3, like that. 1, 2, and 3. I need to do another one. I'll do it down here. 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. Now don't worry if your Nuvo drops initially don't look very rounded, they will self-level. Now these have just gone a little bit flatter than I was anticipating, because I've put quite a lot of Nuvo drops in, so I'm just topping them up. And I should have just left this to do afterwards, after making a mess with that one, but hopefully it'll be all right. There we go. And that is tonight's card. Isn't that simple? I've hardly used any resources at all. Don't worry about all of these, they're going to get used. I mean, this was just a scrap of paper left over. I've used a bit less than, I didn't use my 330 GSM because that's too thick. It was just about a 220. Tiniest bit of ribbon, scraps again here, and a sentiment, and 1 sheet of, well, it wasn't even a full sheet, just a bit of a sheet of craft card. So what do you think? I think that's really pretty. I like that. Little bit different. I hope you do. You seem to like the you know, the more clean and simple ones. So yeah, I'd love to know what you think. Please let me know. I always try and, I don't know why I do that, try and open it up. I think it's part of me just making sure I've got it the right way around. And there you go. Lovely. And remember, these are flower centres. They're not even proper flower petal dies. They're the centres. And I love that. So yeah, look at what you've got in your stash. A little bit of breaking over the edge. Yeah, perfect. Loving it. So please leave me a comment. There's plenty of comments down at the bottom, along with links to things like my Buy Me a Coffee page, and I'll also try and link to some of the products I've used. And as always, there'll be a link on the left to another video, and a link on the right to my subscribe button. And if you can subscribe, that would be brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, I'll leave you there, and I'll be back very soon with another video. So until then, bye for now.